Now here we go. So this one's called Peaches, and we're talking about the fertility of the fruit and how it represents the female vagina. So to indulge in a peach as an ancient motifs, the peach represents fertility, represents the fruit of the vagina, and represents sexual coitus. So I wrote this for a girl who was a virgin. Her name was Molly, and she became the inspiration behind a book which I wrote called The Virgin, which is quite erotic and very mythological and spiritual in context. And actually what I was looking at is our relationship and how it revolved around technologies like emails, Skype messaging, and texting, mobile texting. And if you think that technology has the upper hand above nature, I mean, certain things go wrong when they're supposed to. Messages don't get received, get blurred, get delayed. They appear to create a whole sequence of different events. And actually, maybe it's the events that came first and everything else suits the event. So everything gets changed, and that's when you start seeing miracles and paranormal experiences. You begin to wonder, are you really controlling this, or is it already predestined? So I wrote this for Molly in the book. It's not that long, but no one's ever bought it. I gave it away as gifts. And I look at issues of paedophilia because I looked at not just one virgin, but many virgins who have been thrust into my life. And I say thrust because it's almost as if I had a destiny and someone was trying to lay it all on a plate for me. So in the end, I understood something about what the Virgin meant, and especially the Virgin, the Sacred Virgin, the Virgin of the Church, the Christian Church, and of the Islamic movement also. That the Virgin actually represents not just fertility, but wilderness. And in Spanish we call it the la naturaleza. And really, this is balance in nature when you look at wilderness. And these balances keep in check overdevelopment, they keep in check excessive species breeding or populations. They keep in check the overall integrity of the Earth's ecology or ecosystems. They're absolutely essential, and if we get rid of our wilderness areas, effectively we are destroying our salvation. So it's through the Virgin that we can see salvation, or the image or the symbolic association of the Virgin. That we need to preserve the Virgin, you see. And so Molly, even though we never had actual sexual coitus, we had sexual engagement. In this sense, when I was projecting the Virgin upon her, me being a Virgoan on the 23rd of August born, which is cusp of Leo, and that is my projection, the Virgin, you see. It was if I was fulfilling some sort of predestined affliction. And I kept on meeting a whole series of virgins, and I have been for decades. I'm saying decades. Now, I actually believe there was some cult around me at some stage, and certainly wasn't of the church, but or if it was, they meddled in affairs which they couldn't handle. And certainly other authorities got involved, including the police. And I didn't reject any of these virgins. I just merely waited to see who was sincere amongst it. The whole idea about protecting the virgin is to not engage into total sexual coitus so that you break her hymen. In this respect, symbolically and biologically, she still represents wilderness, untouched. Untouched by man, the undoer of nature. And unfortunately, Molly went off and was seeing another man as well at the same time. So I broke off my relationship with her. And the last time I saw her, I'd climbed a mountain, Cadi Idris, and she refused to come with me because it was too foggy and wet, and I think she was afraid. But we ended up having loggerheads with her other boyfriend. And that last evening, I stayed up all night and walked around the whole of her town. Missed my opportunity to engage her and find out exactly what she meant to me at that time. And finally, in the morning, caught up with her and met her atop of this oak tree. And there we were, the two of us, in a loving embrace, saying our farewells. And I went back to that tree a few years later because I never saw the girl again. I did actually, yes. I saw her at not Glastonbury, at Stonehenge, summer solstice, and only for a fleeting moment because she looked at me and ran away. But I went back after that to the tree, and it had been struck by lightning. It was just in parts all over the place. The power and the energy that was between me and Molly at that time was so loving and so powerful that it was the dawn of the apocalypse. It was wilderness, chaos, restoring and undoing all man's work. So she departed from me and kept up her love affair with her Welsh man. And I never met him, not a single time. But the police did get involved, and I wonder if Molly never told me everything. And I wonder also whether her mother pushed her and influenced her to choose him over me. I'm pretty much sure. She was 17 at the time, and she turned 18 when she lost her virginity, and then I was free of her. My projection retracted and restored itself within me as an integral part of my own being. So I wrote this called Peaches, and it's very sexual, but it's symbolic, and the book as such is still available, but it's not for the light-hearted, because there are many close encounters, actual encounters, and many references to young girls, paedophiles, groups who I bump into and didn't understand why I was in their company and stuff like that, who I had nothing to do with. As I say, they looked like they had been set up. And interestingly, I just read an article about the difference between a paedophile and a hebephile. Hebephiles tend to associate more with 11 to 14-year-old, especially girls. Paedophiles tend to have no preference, either girl or boy, but tend towards the homosexual side of things, which is very interesting. They always come up with classifications, but certainly I drew the hebephile category. Because within hebephiles, I drew many, within the hebephile context, I drew many young girls towards me. And I asked them, and if you reject them, you damage them. So what you do is you take them in and you try to sublimate their energy onto a creative level. Consequently, I never had any sexual relations with an underage girl, other than girls who I may have met in pubs or bars, who were high school girls. And there's plenty of that going around. Plenty. Young girls get let into clubs just because of their looks, and they're no more than 15 or 16-year-olds. They doll themselves up to make themselves look older, and they wonder why culture damages them because no one's really looking after them, no one's really guiding them, and they haven't got that spiritual guidance. That was the role of the church once, to guide and to guard the virginity of a young girl. And actually in Roman times what they would do is they would dress the girl up in a particular robe to indicate that she's not of age, or when she changed her robe to indicate that she was of age. So I never rejected anyone. I just waited for that honest person to come forward. And I thought Molly was that honest person. And I think she was put under pressure to break her ties with me. So I wrote her this song because she's rather special. But this song is for the Virgin. Her stride, the way she walks upright, her head held high, she makes me ready. I follow, but my thighs give chase, bloody, a spear on her gate. My heart cries rebel. Peaches sticking out of the hedge. Peaches, I bite into a nest. Peaches, sweating juice down my neck. Peaches, lose my foods in a mess. Peaches, her lips are angels. Peaches, I drink of her sex. Peaches, thrust them down with her. Peaches, give her my best shot, no less. She's close, I feel her scent leaves a trail of leaves. A bush who smells of myrtle. A snake, I wind the roof, a cover, a shady resort brings me onto her bower. Peaches sticking out of the hedge. Peaches, I bite into a nest. Peaches, sweating juice down my neck. Peaches, lose my face in a mess. Peaches, her lips are ingest. Peaches, I drink of her sex. Peaches, thrust them down with sex. Peaches, give my best shot, no less. love that binds us up like a deer to wander. How majestic you do me, like a soul into the sky above. Like a seed carried in his husk, nurtured in the moisture of the earth, swelling to puncture to give rise to a virgin sovereignty. Peaches sticking out of the hedge. Peaches, oh, I bite into a nest. Peaches, sweating juice down my neck. Peaches, with my face in a mess. Peaches, her lips are angels. Peaches, I drink of her sweat. Peaches, lost her down with zest. Peaches, give my best shot no less. We'll have another go later.